tough to watch that. They just kept coming wave after wave. I thought they were super in that second half, and I thought it was a super effort from our guys just to hang in there and keep them out. They came in waves, and the speed they ran onto the ball, it was just really hard for us to keep them off our advantage line. So once they started getting that momentum, they were even harder to contain. So it's a credit to our guys for hanging in there, and it's probably a credit to the Wallabies because I thought they did a fantastic job of carrying incredibly well.
Had some great successes these games this field compared to what's come before.
It's up there. I think they're a super team. To be in their backyard and to manage to sneak off with the Lansdowne Trophy is a little bit special for us, especially on the back of a pretty long season. And I think it's a credit to the players that they dug in just well enough. I'm pretty pleased there's not a game next week. I think that might have been a bridge too far, but I think the Wallabies are going the other direction. I think they've got fuel in the tank, and I think they're building. So I'm sure Chex is pretty happy with some of what they're doing, particularly in that second half.
Must feel particularly satisfying given you lost some key players in Melbourne and then Sean, yesterday.
Yeah, it just unsettles the rhythm a bit going into a game where you're making late changes, but it has happened to us on a few occasions, and I think it's one of the things that's testament to depth in some positions that we have that guys can step up and do a good job. And I thought Niall Scannell came in and Rob Herring came in. They were both very good in Melbourne as well, so they very quickly put their hands up and toiled away. So it's just part of a process that we'd like to be able to streamline. If we lose someone, that someone else can step up. And I thought there was a few times toward the end of the game that we might have lost Johnny, and it was going to be a very big debut for Ross Byrne. We've got lots of confidence that he is going to come through, and it was probably disappointing for him. He was on the very cusp of getting on a couple of times, and I know he won't be disappointed because he's team orientated, but at the same time, it would have been nice for him to have got that cap after having come away on tour.
And you had a bit of a run with the Sydney traffic?
Yeah, it took just over 13 minutes to get here yesterday and just over 30 today, so we were a little bit. But it's happened to us before, and I think we kind of got knocked off our stride and went down, I think 21-5 or something at half time against Scotland a couple of years ago. So it's good for the team. I think there are always things that are going to come at you from different sides, and sometimes that sort of thing happens, and you've got to be able to take it in your stride. I think most teams have a rhythm in how they build to a game, and when that gets disrupted, it can be a little bit of a distraction. But it's the first time in the series that we've actually scored the first points. So we got off to not too bad a start.
Joe, you spoke a few times this tour about this being a development towards other teams in the future as well as trying to win. How much do you think you got out of it in that regard, both with the Italian players and the development?
There was a couple of guys who got another opportunity today. I thought Ty Byrne came off the bench really well. I thought Jack Conan did well. When you've got Sean O'Brien and Josh Van der Fleer and Rhys Ruddock, those guys are loose forwards back in Ireland. It's presented a real opportunity for guys like Jack, especially with Dan Levy being injured. So, I think it's great when guys put their hand up because it keeps the pressure on other guys, and at the same time, they grow a little bit because they understand what it's going to take. And there was no better kind of match to go into where you had to understand how tough it was going to be.
Jack, can you talk through your own emotions from a player's perspective?
Yeah, I suppose the special day for coming into it, knowing that it's my 50th cap and being able to start for it is a huge thing. But for me, it was team orientated, and it was just sort of job focused. The emotion could have taken over, and sometimes when you've too much emotion, you can sort of lose the head a little bit. So it was just for us is it's next sort of moment focus, and probably we got into the game pretty early, and it gave us a lot of confidence, and we kind of rolled from there. I suppose just shows the mentality of the squad now. The last 20 minutes we were under the caution, guys dug in, and it shows the belief, and there was a lot of young guys out there, and it just shows that when there's guys, when there's senior guys not around, and the young guys are able to step up and prove that they should be out there and get us over the line, it's just it brings such confidence.
You've been through some amazing moments in the last 18 months. Your belief levels in that dressing room must be really, really high coming out of the season.
Yeah. Looking forward to a bit of a break now. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's I suppose it just raises the bar for next season, and yeah, we'll just kind of we'll relax for maybe a couple of weeks, and I'll see Joe in August, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of time off, Jack. Late July.
How much of a marker is it though coming to the Southern Hemisphere and taking a series to
Yeah, it's pretty big for us because we don't do that very often, and you know, 39 years ago I did have a good chat to a couple of the guys who did it last time, and you know, Ollie Campbell's a guy I got huge respect for. I think he's a class character, a real gentleman, as well as a class player in his time. And you know, we had a bit of a chat about it. He you know, he's such an enthusiast. His confidence was brimming that we could do it. I didn't quite share the confidence at the time because I knew how tough it was going to be, and that was evident in those final minutes. Not just tonight, but last weekend as well. You know, that they were coming in waves, and we managed to keep them out then as well. So you know, I feel that potentially we're a little bit fortuitous, and the margins are so fine. I didn't think we were far off in Brisbane either. You know, like it's been a fantastic series. Certainly not too many of the crowd left. Some of them tried to get a bit closer than they should have, but not too many of them left, and it was, you know, it's great for players. They enjoy celebrating those with the crowd who you know, were very animated, whether it was for one team or the other.
Michael Checker talked about some of the things not quite going their way, and that's, you know, in matches like this, you actually also need, I guess he was referring to the rub of the green. How did you see that?
Yeah, I thought there's always a few bounces of the ball that don't go your way, and some that do go your way. I felt that, you know, there was a couple of things that probably didn't go our way as well. You know, I guess it's all about perspective. I know Sir Alex Ferguson says you can have a fantastic preparation, but you still need a bit of luck, and I certainly wouldn't put the degree of effort from the players down to luck tonight. But you know, when that last pass goes awry, if it didn't, they might have scored that, and you know, that's how fine the margin was.
Joe, what do you make of the aerial battle? I mean, you'd almost ruined the All Blacks France series, and it's had a big impact on this as well. I mean, have they got it right, the referees? Is it?
Yeah, and they've got to look after players, and I think the rescinded red card on Benjamin Fowle was not due to the actual battle in the air. It was the battle on the ground, and he got knocked slightly by one of the All Blacks. So, you know, most people, and I think Israel Folau is freakishly good at it. Most people use a 3-step jump. They're going up and they get their rhythm into the jump with 3 steps. And so if you get knocked off balance, that can affect things. But once a player is up and he's lifted, you know, if you do grab him, whether you win the ball or not, you're running the risk. And you know, I think Izzy is a phenomenal player, and I'd have huge respect for him. I know Peter's pretty sore, and those things happen sometimes, which is disappointing. It's the same with the yellow card on Jacob Stockdale. He was just kind of spun in the tackle with Nick Phipps was on him very quickly, and there's no way that forearm's intentional, but you run the risk if it's elevated at all. So that's the nature of the game these days, and I know the reason is well founded, because we want player safety as best we can get it, but at the same time, you know, we've got to keep that competitive element as much as we can. But it didn't look to me outside there tonight as if it wasn't a real competitive element. I thought there was real competition in every facet of the game.